Why not? But if I played like a background music now, I wonder if I get flagged for like copyright infringement. So I would just like I'll do the dancing with no music while we wait for the countdown to hit like exactly 11 a.m. And it doesn't matter because I have zero viewers so far. But if you're watching the replay, we're about to start, and here we go. Ready? This is um, StreamYard is the easiest way to get started with online broadcasting, but some of us like a bit more. Some of us are techie and we just want to push the limits of technology. And for those of us, we have StreamYard Tech Talk, the show that takes you beyond the basic streaming into all the technology that you can. We have great guests today. We have none other than Josh MacGowan. Stay tuned after the intro. We can prepare all your questions because this is all about live Q&A. So here we go. Hi, hello, everyone. I'm gonna bring Josh right in here into the studio with me today. We've got Josh. Why don't you introduce yourself while I fix my audio issue here and go for it?
Yeah, sure. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. My name is Josh MacGowan and I run a event production company in the UK. Obviously, due to what's going on in the world, we've been doing a lot more online events rather than in-person events, and also a bit of hybrid events. So, part online and part in person. So yeah, right. That's my background, and yeah, we do a variety of different types of events over here in the UK, but yeah, primarily online at the moment.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's great. We're going to be talking about showing a little bit about behind the scenes of what Josh does. Lots of complex production and production management, all using StreamYard. So for those of you who want to take your show up a notch and maybe produce some shows with others, this is a great episode for you. I run into a bit of a tech issue here, a little bit of a surprising tech issue because I'm using a mobile phone right there to get my a second camera view. So you can see me from behind right now and see my setup. But what I am using earpods, and the phone and the laptop are both hooked up to the earpods or the AirPods. And so when now the phone took over, and I'm hearing through the monitor speaker. So Josh, do you hear an echo at all? Is there any echo?
No, it sounded pretty clean to me actually. So
Okay,
you're good.
awesome. Great. So we can just go on with the show. I can put these away. I don't need them. Um,
Great.
Good. And we did have a funny thing that we story to tell here. We had there was right across the street from me, from my home office here. They were taking down a big tree, and they were chopping and sawing and grinding and doing all kinds of crazy stuff there. And the noise was terrible. So I did put up a bit of a noise filter in my ATM Mini. We did a little bit of a what did we call it? It was a
The gate we played with, wasn't it?
oh, an expander rather than the gate, right? We could use a gate too, and that seemed to work beautifully. So you can't hear a thing, and everything is great. Good. Okay, so let's take a look here at a couple of the comments and get into a bit of housekeeping before we start with the actual content. So first of all, if you want to join the live show, if you want to join the studio live with us, we're going to do this again this week. So I'll be posting in the comments the link to join us in the studio and pick up that link. Another thing is if you want to win a StreamYard mug, just like this one that I've got here, just use the hashtag #LoveStreamYard. And if you want to ask a question, use the hashtag ask because that helps me find it in the comments. I'm doing all this myself here, managing and hosting and doing all of the production myself. So that helps me screen through all the comments, but you don't have to. So another thing you will notice, we're using the new theme, which is going to be available for everybody like within the next, I would say, 24 hours or so. You should be able to see this theme and be able to use this theme as well. It's really, really cool. Hi, Anita. And we've got lots of people from all over the world and Bangladesh. Wow, nice.
Wow.
Awesome. Introduce yourself. It's great. And let's hit the road here. Josh, I'm going to show the a few photos, and you tell us what are we seeing here, because it seems a bit scary for those who are maybe new to StreamYard, but let's break it down. So,
Yeah. So this photo, is some of you may have worked out, is actually from a church. So over the summer we've been installing quite a lot of streaming systems at churches, and then I've actually been suggesting that people use StreamYard to send it out to the world on. The reason for using StreamYard is because, as most of you probably know, there's options like OBS and other softwares out there, but StreamYard is really simple to use, and it brings all your comments and everything into one place, which is what the church love about it. It means they can have the people watching send in live comments, and then they can show the comments on screen, and it just brings a lot of interaction between the actual service and the people that are watching, that through something like OBS you just wouldn't be able to get, because you can't have that interaction between people. And also another reason for us using StreamYard at the church is so that so occasionally we might have people that want to bring a little message from home. So or if for example, say the vicar has become ill overnight, then we can quite easily just say to the vicar, that's fine, set your laptop up at home, and we can bring you into the live stream from home, so that there's no risk of if he's ill, with him coming into the church and obviously potentially contaminating someone else as well. So yeah, there's a few reasons why we use StreamYard. So just to explain a little bit about this setup. So at the bottom of the two screens, there's a little video switcher. Most of you may well be aware of the Atom Mini Pro by now, which Daniel uses, I know, on his end. There you go. There's the Atom Mini Pro. So this video switcher is also made by Blackmagic, but this is called the ATEM TVS. And the reason we use this rather than the Mini Pro is because we can have 8 inputs on this rather than the 4 you get on the Mini Pro. So it's just giving us extra inputs to add extra cameras, etc. And then, so on the computer screens, the screen at the top is just showing a multi-view, so that the person operating can see all the different camera angles, and then they can choose which camera angle they send out to the live stream. And then the screen on the left is obviously the StreamYard window, so that just allows them to monitor StreamYard and add and remove guests if needed. And then on the computer screen on the right, not the laptop, the computer screen on the right, is a program called Pro Presenter. And Pro Presenter is a really, really powerful program for showing overlays like song words. And so we can by using a transparent background in Pro Presenter, we can put live song words over the top of a camera feed. We can obviously also adjust where the words sit on the screen. So, we can do it as a lower third. So the song words are at the bottom of the screen. And then the person just has to flick through Pro Presenter to put the right words on the screen at the right time. You can also use Pro Presenter for live streaming as well. You can send USB webcams into it, but we just prefer to use StreamYard to handle the live stream, and just use Pro Presenter for the content. So, we will also play videos and show photos through Pro Presenter as well. So yeah, Pro Presenter is a really good program, and it's used a lot in the church world, just because of all the song word integration and stuff like that it has. So yeah, that's a really quick overrun of that setup. So hopefully that helps.
That's great. And I'm curious as to what are all those DVDs or CDs that you've got in that box? Are they still in use nowadays?
Yeah. So we've actually, after our live stream, we will you can only do this on the Pro StreamYard package, but after the live stream, we will actually download the entire stream from StreamYard, and then we will burn it onto a DVD. And then we can make multiple copies of that DVD. And we just do that to send to people that can't access online. So obviously in churches, there's often there's some older people that can't access online. So what we do is we burn them a DVD, and then we can send that DVD to them, which means they can also watch the service at a later date, meaning they don't miss out on it. So yeah, that's the reason for DVDs, so we can make a DVD copy for anyone that we know can't access online.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, we've got a question here. I was waiting with some of these questions till after we see some of the photos, but I accidentally hit the button, so we'll have to answer it. That Dunhill is asking, about the delay between going live and Facebook. Do you know how to deal with that? What causes that delay? Is there any way to shrink that delay, etc.?
Yeah. So obviously there's always going to be a slight bit of delay, because we're sending video and audio content up to a cloud server, and then from that cloud server out to either Facebook or YouTube server, and then it's going from their server to the end user. So it's really, really difficult. You're never going to get rid of all of the delay. There's always going to be a slight bit of delay with what people are actually seeing, just because of the path that the data needs to take. However, saying that, YouTube offers a lot more customization with that. So in YouTube, you can change your delay. So you can either have a small delay or a larger delay. In YouTube, you can't do that with Facebook currently, as far as I'm aware. Facebook just has a set. I think it tends to be about 5 seconds behind. So it's not a lot really. But with YouTube, you can shorten it. I've had a YouTube stream running at only a second behind where we are in StreamYard, so that's pretty close. But also in YouTube, you can go the other way if you want. You can delay it by up to a minute or two, depending on what you want to do. But you can't currently do that in StreamYard itself. You can't choose the output delay time. So
right. We got another question here. What was the Blackmagic stem called that you used? What did you call it? Yeah.
It's called the Blackmagic ATEM, and then TVS. So it's literally the ATEM TV. It will come up on Google with searching the ATEM TV. I will also put it in the chat for Daniel. But yeah, just if you Google search Blackmagic ATEM TV, it will come up. You will find the video production switcher online. All I would say, just if anyone is looking to buy one of the ATEM TVs, unlike the Mini Pro, it doesn't have a built-in streaming encoder, so you would need an external USB streaming card so that you can select it as your USB input into StreamYard. Whereas the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro has the streaming encoder built in, so you don't need any extra hardware to send it into StreamYard. But yeah, with the TVS, you would need an extra bit of kit to send it as a USB feed into StreamYard. It doesn't have that built in.
Awesome. Fantastic. Let's take a look at a couple of other photos here of yours and take it there. So this is your home office. And let's take a bit of a different angle there. So this is a different setup for other shows. Now, I love that you have a piece of paper up there with what you've got typed out on it.
Yeah, so on the piece of paper is the schedule for the live stream. So this particular picture is from a church service that I was producing. Now this picture is actually from back in March when we had our very first lockdown in the UK. So it was a very last minute setup. We had to very quickly, within a matter of days, get church services online. So yeah, we very quickly just set a little setup at home so I could control streams from home. But what we found is after I did the first one, I hadn't typed up a running order for the stream just because I hadn't had time. And it therefore made the general stream run a bit more clunky. So we have 5 people from different homes taking part in the stream. So obviously at certain times I was adding and removing people, but at time without having that sheet to follow, it wasn't anywhere near as smooth as we can do it now. So on that data sheet, it literally just says the person that's going to be live and the subject of what they're talking about, so that we can put the right banners up at the right time. and then it just had like a little time slot so you could follow through. But also in the bottom right of the picture, you can see there's a second computer. So we were using that second computer to show our pre-recorded videos. So again, having that information sheet in front of us the whole time meant that I would know exactly when I needed to play a video on the second computer or when someone was going to be speaking live. So, spending time making a running order for your live stream is so useful, especially if you've got a lot of things going on. But obviously something I would say is try and keep your timing sheet really simple, because you don't want to be reading lots of information while you're clicking between camera options at the same time. You want a really simple to follow cue sheet, just so you know what's going on and you can put the right things on the screen at the right time, really.
Right. Fallon was asking a question here, and she was actually in the studio with us. Fallon, I see you left. I'm not sure if you got disconnected. So I'll just use the question here online. I'm looking for it now in the feed. There has been so many comments since then. So
yeah.
Fallon was asking, she was asking, how do we get the phone to be on the stream here? I lost it. Okay. Yeah, I'll just dive into that a bit, and we'll get back into your topics. So let's see if I can get the phone view here. I'm going to bring it over. So the phone, you see, I just have it freestanding, just like that. Oh, now this is actually a cool view, because now you can see the monitor and everything, and you can see myself. So the phone, I got a freestanding here. And you see, I can do whatever I want with it. It's kind of cool. And I've even got another laptop there, which I can use to showcase. You see, I use the little camera on the laptop. So I have all these different angles here. And what I did is really simple. I log into the phone through, in Safari. I open Safari, go to StreamYard, use the same exact link that I have here on the monitor for the studio. So I log in as an admin in 2 different places at once. And once I do that, I'm in, and I can broadcast from there. So now on my screen here, you can see I have Daniel Mobile. I just call myself Mobile there, so I can easily see who I am. And I have Daniel Desktop. So if I show the name tags, the display names, you'll see I just tag myself as Mobile right there. So it's easy for me to know. But that's it. I've got both of these. Now, a funny little thing happened. I couldn't figure out how to mute the iPhone completely. So I hooked it up to these little earpods, and it's actually playing there. You can hear it if you put it in, but that way I don't get the echo. So that works, and I'll just move this back there so we get that view. And I thought it would be interesting to show the behind the scenes for once. So there we go. That answer that question.
And just to continue on what Daniel was saying, this is a really big feature that a lot of people don't know about StreamYard. You can have multiple people logged into your account, and that's something we do a lot. So often I'll have a second person behind the scenes monitoring comments and stuff like that. And so for those of you that don't know, the way you do that is you literally would just give that other person you want to have access, you would give them your email. You would get emailed you would get emailed the code. You just send the code to them, and then they can log on to the same account you're using at the same time. And it just gives them all the functions and features that you would have as well. So it's a really great way to have extra people in there as well.
Okay, somebody was mentioning that my audio levels were way low. I just increased them. Hopefully that works nicely. Okay, let's maybe keep going here, and I will look for some more questions as we go along.
Yeah, I saw a question earlier on. Someone was asking about the A10 Mini Pro and the audio and video being out of sync. It was quite early on. Just to say that in the A10 Mini Pro, you can delay the audio. So it would be worth whoever it was that asked that question. If you have a look at your A10 Mini Pro settings, you can actually delay the audio on the A10. So that should help you to get your audio and video in sync if you delay it in the A10 software.
Right. I like that's actually great advice. Any thoughts on adding a scoreboard function? So I think that's for us. That's for StreamYard. And Luke, yeah, we have thoughts about a lot of stuff, and there's so many different features we can do. We're working on a few. So if you watch our town hall lives on Sunday nights, that's the place to ask for features. Here we talk about tech, and let's see what else we've got here. Oh, here somebody's saying to mute completely your phone, you can use an app called Mute All. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. Is that new? Kurt is asking, is that the new font and design for lower thirds? Yes, this is a new theme for StreamYard. It'll be available to everyone within the next 24 hours. Maybe even today. Okay. How about Josh? I'll let you answer this question from Caprix.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, of course you can use it. StreamYard is brilliant because you can use it for pretty much anything. So what you may be able to do for your event is you might be able to use a couple of mobile phones logged into the same account. So by using your mobile phone, you're using your mobile phone data, your mobile phone camera, and your mobile phone mic. So you wouldn't actually need anything else other than that. And with that, you could probably use a few different mobile phones and have some different camera angles, and mount a mobile phone to someone's bike and things like that. So yeah, by all means, StreamYard would definitely be the tool for you for that. And there's a lot of different ways you could go about doing it. But yeah, that would definitely be really good.
So you use something that's not a Rodecaster Pro. You use a different device. I saw it here on the photos. Let's bring it back again. But essentially, it's the same function, right? Yeah, this one here.
That in the middle. So what I use is that's just a Soundcraft sound desk. Pretty much all audio interfaces or sound desks will work into StreamYard. If they've got a USB output, then all you do is plug it into your laptop, and in StreamYard you would choose that as your audio input. So yeah, any like the Rodecaster or anything else that has that USB output, you can link that into StreamYard and use that for your audio. So for example, something we've been doing is you can use a 100-channel digital sound desk into StreamYard, and all you're sending into it is your main output from that sound desk. So yeah, you can have lots and lots of stuff plugged in by using a USB audio interface.
Great. I think this image also ties into this question here that Guitar Giveaway is asking. How do I add an intro video to my StreamYard live stream?
So yeah, you can. You may or may not know that you can actually do that through StreamYard itself. And in the last week or so, StreamYard have also rolled out a new update, which now allows double the time. I think it's double. Yeah, it's now a 10-minute limit rather than previously it was a 5-minute limit. So yeah, you can now upload up to a 10-minute video straight into StreamYard in the branding section, and then you can play them through StreamYard. But the other option, which as you can see I'm doing in this photo, is you can have a software on the second computer, and you can then just either feed that into an A10 Mini Pro, or you could use it as a screen share. So yeah, there's a few different ways of doing it, but you can certainly do that.
Yeah, people keep jumping in and asking about, there's a couple of repeat questions here. I think we've already answered that with the switcher that you're using. Just mention the name one more time.
It's the Blackmagic A10 TV. So it's just it's an upgraded model of the Mini Pro, only because it's got more inputs. But as I've said before, it doesn't have the built-in USB converter, so you can't plug that straight into StreamYard Direct. So if you are out there looking for video mixers, just what you need to look for is that it has a USB output, so that you can link it into StreamYard. If it doesn't have a USB output, then you would need another piece of equipment to convert the signal to a digital signal. Otherwise, you won't be able to link it to StreamYard. StreamYard will only accept a digital USB input into it.
Awesome, great. Oh, we got a guest from Chile. shout out to Chile. Love the country. My wife is Chilean, so I'm always get excited when I see someone from Chile. Hola. Let's see. We've got another. I want to talk about this for a second here. So what's going on here?
Yeah. So this was just a streaming studio that we set up at an art gallery in Southampton, in the UK. So this particular event was for the Black History Month launch. So throughout October, we have a Black History Month where a variety of raising awareness and other fundraising stuff happens. So normally we do a big launch event where lots of people will come along and attend the event live. But obviously this year, due to the rules and regulations in the UK, we weren't allowed to have any people along. We were only allowed to have 6 people in one room. So what we decided to do was we set up an online studio. We had the 3 main presenters of the live stream in that studio, and then we had 8 other remote guests who were just at home, who each just did little keynote talks for 5 minutes or so. So we were hopping between. We started off at this live studio because obviously we had some really good cameras and lighting, so it looked really good there. And then we would jump off to someone's house for them to talk to it for a few minutes, and then we would go back to this live studio, and then we would go to someone else's house. So the reason for having this studio was like the main hosts of the live stream to run the show, and then we had various other remote people connected through StreamYard to talk in between. So in this StreamYard studio, I was using a Blackmagic 8M TV, and I was then just feeding that as one video input into StreamYard. So we had 5 different camera angles in this room. So we could switch between the camera angles on the video switcher, but it's only sending one feed into StreamYard itself. So whichever we switch to, similar like Daniel can do with his 8M Mini, you can have multiple cameras, but it only counting as one feed into StreamYard. And then for the audio, I was using a Behringer X32, which is a digital sound desk, which just has a USB output. So again, I gave all the presenters had wireless clip-on microphones, so their audio was really good quality. And then we can mute people when they weren't talking, and then we just sent that into StreamYard via a USB cable. Again, there's one audio feed into StreamYard. But we had an actual sound desk in the room to be able to mute and unmute people and, adjust their volumes and so forth at the relevant time.
Fantastic. And that answers one of the questions that I saw here about, asking you to explain a bit more your audio setup. So as usual, the question just gets lost in the feed feed here. Yeah. So many comments from a bunch of channels we're streaming on. We've also started streaming on Twitch. Right now on my personal channel, I need to add the StreamYard channel on Twitch as well. So that's new for me. We just haven't done Twitch so much in the past. We've got people from so many different places here. Oh, wow. This is a very international crowd today. I'm really excited about that. Really, really nice. Yeah, and a few comments here. Yeah, bring in your question. So I saw a question here. Where was it? In Newcastle, not too far away from you. Where exactly are you located? Are you in London?
I'm in Southampton, so I'm on the south coast, the bottom of England. Yeah, literally, I'm about an hour away from London, just below London. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, about a question about lighting and what brands of lights do you recommend? What do you use?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, I'll start off by saying that at the moment I probably don't look really lit because I'm a tech person. I'm not normally live on screen. I'm normally behind the scenes, so I haven't got loads of lighting set up at home for me. But yeah, when we're setting up a live streaming studio, lighting is absolutely crucial. Brands of lighting, I tend to find don't matter too much nowadays. Pretty much most brands of lighting make similar lights. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't get too caught up on I have to have this brand or I have to have this brand. But some of the important things, and you can certainly learn a lot more from. When was it you had someone on the stream a couple of weeks ago, didn't you, that went a bit more in depth into lighting?
Yeah, that was last week. For anybody watching in lighting, go back, look at last week's episode, a stunning episode about lighting, all in depth, really, really crazy. Yeah, look it up if you didn't see it.
But yeah, so yeah, definitely check that out if you want a more in-depth explanation. But yeah, just a bit of general stuff on lighting. Obviously, one of the important things is shadows, and you don't want to be creating shadows. And the way you stop shadows is by having multiple lights from different directions. If you just have one light pointing straight at you, you're going to have a shadow effect behind you. So, even simple things like moving the light off to an angle rather than having it pointing at you can help with shadows. And I guess one of the main things is you can't really get away with just having one light. Ideally, you need, 2 lights or multiple lights to light up the different areas of your face. Also, another issue with lighting is if you make someone's face too bright, then you may have issues with the white balance on the camera. And sometimes if you're using autofocus, if the face is too bright, then autofocus doesn't work too well because it tries to focus on other things. So another thing with lighting is it's not about being really, really bright. Obviously, you need it to be fairly bright, but often you'll find with lighting, you don't want to put your light to 100% brightness. You may want it on 70 or 80% brightness or even less, just as a general rule of thumb.
Right, and just a quick note here. Somebody was asking me what camera am I using, and this touches on lighting. So I'm using a Sony Alpha 6000. I've got 2 of them, so you might see from here. I got one right up here on my monitor, and then another one up there at an angle, which gives me that view like that. And if I switch between them, you'll see that now here, I'll bring myself a bit bigger. So if I switch between them, you'll see that the color is pretty much uniform, and the lighting is pretty much uniform. But the iPhone over there, the lighting is much more yellow, and it's the same room, same lighting. It's just different settings, different cameras, different lenses. And before, on my Alpha 6000, it was a big difference between the 2 cameras. If you remember, Josh, we were looking at it, and it was like, oh wait, that one is way darker. And then I because it's set up a little bit high up there, I can't easily go to the settings and change it. So I accidentally just changed the autofocus. And from center, there's center, or there is like multiple zones. So I changed it from multiple zones to center, and all of a sudden it came nice and bright, and that changed the lighting. So there is a correlation between all these stuff together. You have to kind of mess around with the settings sometimes to get it right. But interesting that had an effect on the light exposure. And I think it had to do because some spots are overexposed here, like here. I got the window, and I think once I had multiple, was focusing on multiple points, that because it's oversaturated, overexposed, it just went, it tried to recompensate somehow.
And I think you made a really good point there about just playing around with the settings on the equipment you have. I think a really, really important thing with a live stream is, do plenty of practice runs, weeks in advance to when you're actually going to do your first live stream. Do lots of practice, try different setups and different layouts, and just spend time playing with the settings on your cameras and on your laptop, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with playing around with things and trying different things out. Don't be afraid to try different things out, but obviously do this in your practice run rather than when you're actually live. But yeah, by all means, play around with things, try different things out and see what works for you, because some people might prefer a brighter face or a clearer face. Some people might prefer it a more effective face where you've got shadows, depending on how you set up your lighting. So you should definitely just play around with different things, and don't be afraid to try things out.
Buddy Honey is saying my audio is awful. I wonder if I turn off my filters here.
I can't hear you at all currently now. But it was sounding okay to me when you were talking. It was sounding clear.
So I'm back now, right?
You're back now, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. I wonder. There's something to learn for sure all the time, and I'm definitely on my very early in my journey. Sandy is asking for a recommended editor. I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, maybe you could expand a little bit more, Sandy. Obviously, I'm not sure if you're meaning maybe a producer or an editor. For me, I see a producer and editor as slightly different people. So a producer would be someone that helps run your show for you, helps get all your content ready, and helps make sure everything looks good. Whereas an editor may be someone that works with content repurposing and doing an edit to your live stream afterwards to then send it out to other people. But yeah, I wouldn't say you have to have a producer or editor, but it certainly helps make your live streams look a lot more professional if you've got a professional helping with that side of things. So yeah, but one of the things with editing does take a lot of time, and anyone that's been putting online content together will know how much time editing takes. So if you don't have the time to do it all, then I would definitely suggest trying to find someone that can help you out with it.
Great. And yeah, Guitar says they sound fine. So and also Phantom says they sound good. So I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Let's see. Do you recommend a Stream Deck?
Great question. I know you use one, don't you, Daniel?
I do. I have one, and I can actually, yeah, you probably saw it through my, now I have to log back into the computer here to my second laptop. So I can, here, you can see it. It's right there, right next to my ATM Mini. And I do like cute little stuff with it. Like I do, like sound effects, which now because I messed around with my sound, you can't hear it. But I sometimes do sound effects. I will do things like control the light a bit, or just, frankly, the biggest function I use it for is for Spotify. That's, every 10 minutes I'm hitting the Spotify button for one reason or another. How about you?
Yeah, so what we've been using the Stream Deck for is you can actually link the Stream Deck with the Blackmagic control software. So you can either link your Stream Deck to the A10 Mini Pro or the larger Blackmagic video switches. So what we've been doing at a few installations I've done is, we can put certain cameras on each Stream Deck button, and then people can just select that camera on the Stream Deck, and then they can press cut or press fade, and it will change to that camera really quickly and really easily. You can't currently use the Stream Deck with StreamYard, but I know it's definitely something that is on your roadmap, I believe, isn't it, Daniel, for the future? I think StreamYard are exploring what they could use the Stream Deck for and how it would help people.
Yeah, we are definitely exploring it. We will get it done at some point, but I can't give a date for it yet. And it's a long story, but also roadmaps change and are flexible. We are a startup. We're working as fast as we can, and we are hiring. We're growing the team. So if you're interested in joining the team, just send something to jobs@streamyard.com. Tell us what it is you do, and if there's a fit, we'll definitely explore it. I see we've got somebody in the green room here with an actual green screen. So let's bring them in and have them ask a question live. Yeah. Champrix, are you with us? Hear you?
Hi, hello.
Hello.
I'm from Philippines, and yes, I have green screen, but not yet ready for any.
Champrix, are you with us? Hear you?
Hi, hello.
Oh, yeah. So what's your question?
Yes, I have green screen, but not yet ready for any.
I'm going to let Chaprix fix his audio stuff, and meanwhile, I'll bring Abdul in and see if we can get something from him. Hi, Abdul.
Bonjour. Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Wainan Island, l'île de la Réunion.
Fantastic. And what's your question?
I just coming in the tech talk, so I haven't question except I see there is a new functionalities.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about that a bit. So we have a new theme going on, which you see here. I'm just sharing something that's not available yet to the public. It will be available in about a couple of within a day. It should be available to you as well, so you'll be able to see it. And it's mostly just the themed aesthetics at this point. But there are other features that we released as well, which are the ability to upload longer videos, to do intros and outros, and so on. So yeah, Abdul, thanks for hopping in. Appreciate it. We've got, let's see, a very special guest here. I want to bring in, and you're gonna recognize him right away. Hi, Alex.
Hey there, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry, I was not ready for this. I just saw it, and you were talking about audio. I saw you use a mixer like me, so I want to come up and just ask you a question. How are you dealing? First, your mixer is analogic, isn't? Or it goes straight to USB?
Yeah, straight through USB.
How are you dealing with the lag? Because your audio is so synced, and I had few problems last 2 weeks, including the live we did together. My audio was completely out of sync. I just noticed later. Even I'm putting some delay on it. Sometimes I still have problems with the sync. So what is your process to sync your audio to your video?
Yes, that's a really, really good question. So I currently haven't got any audio delay running on my mic, but do consider I'm currently using my laptop webcam, so I'm not using an external camera. What you will find is the issue with audio sync comes as soon as you start using an external camera. But obviously, I would always suggest using an external camera because they are better than the built-in laptop ones. But yeah, your first thing will be as soon as you start using an external camera, you're very likely to get these audio delay issues. So yeah, what you will need is a software or a mixer that allows you to delay the audio. But it as you pointed out, it's really, really hard to get it perfectly in sync, and you do have to spend a lot of time trying to get them in sync. But there are a few little things you can do. So there's some things you can find online, like I think they're made by the BBC, that is like a video clip that shows a bar hitting another bar, and then it plays a sound at the same time. And if you then record that in slow motion, it will then tell you how many milliseconds out you are with your video.
It's exactly what we are doing. You just record the video. We do a click or even a click for video, and then we bring it to Premiere, keep trying to identify how many seconds, bring it back and put it at the delay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work properly.
No, it is really hard to do. But yeah, so sometimes it might be worth you trying. If you get a mobile phone and video it in slow motion on your mobile phone, video over screen in slow motion, it can make it easier to get it in sync because you're watching it in slower motion. So you can, it's easier to work out how far out it is sometimes. But yeah, what you're doing, Alex, is absolutely right. You do just have to keep playing around with it, unfortunately, until you can get it right. There's there's currently no way to do it automatically. There's some things out there that can detect it automatically, but they don't really work that well, to be fair. So yeah, it is just a case of trial and error. And what you should find, I'd be surprised if not, is once you've got it right, you will never have to change that. You shouldn't have it shouldn't be out of time by a different amount of time every time you go live. It should always be the exact amount out of time, if you know what I mean. So hopefully if you spend a lot of time
once, you don't have to do it never again. Okay.
Yeah, spend a lot of time getting it right once, and then remember how much delay you added, and then hopefully it should be the same as that every single time you do it if you're using the exact same equipment.
Okay. Thanks, Josh. Then your audio is okay. Don't need to worry. Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
I'm very conscious. Alex, thanks for hopping in. That was a true pleasure to have you here. Alex was a guest last week on the show. Amazing show about lighting. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's a really must see. Really all the lighting info you ever need is right there. So thanks, Alex, and we'll see you around again, and maybe in a follow-up show sometime.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
See you soon.
Champrix is now ready, so let's try bringing him in again. Hi, Champrix.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Hello. I have a question about my audio because I'm using voice meter, and sometimes it gets out of the loop. Sometimes they get like a robot audio. So, do you recommend voice meter for our StreamYard, Sir Josh?
Yeah. So, however, one of the first issues it could be is it potentially could be an internet connection issue. So I've been finding if a venue doesn't have very good internet, then the audio can sometimes go a bit robotic. So that I'm not saying it will be that, but it could possibly be. So are you connected via Wi-Fi or via a cabled internet connection?
Via a wired.
Okay, so I would imagine it's less likely to be that if you're on, but anyone using Wi-Fi, then it could be an internet connection issue. But yeah, voice meter is really good. What you might find is so your headset mic, what's that plugged into? Is that plugged straight into your computer?
Yes. USB.
Yeah, via USB. Yeah. So what you might find is maybe there's a slight issue with your mic and USB that's plugged into the computer. That's so basically your mic will be converting the signal from analog to digital, obviously, so that the computer can read it as a USB digital signal. So it could be that the converter in your microphone isn't working all the time. So occasionally it's not converting all of the signal to digital properly. That could be, maybe there's a break in your cable or an issue with your mic. But yeah, I would imagine it's most likely going to be a hardware issue, an issue with one of the pieces of equipment you're using rather than the software you're trying to use.
I think I have to upgrade my equipment because I think this is low quality equipment. I use it.
If it's a cheaper headset microphone, then it might just be that the digital conversion it's doing is not working all the time.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Awesome. Yeah, we've got a bunch of questions in the chat, and we've got more people waiting here to ask live. So this is highly successful. A lot of people want to join the show, and we've got a record-breaking viewership today. So people from all over the world. So this is really awesome. I'm pretty excited. But we don't have a tremendous amount of time. So I'm going to bring Julio in here now and to ask a question. And let's see, Julio, what have you got for us?
Hi, guys. I'm from Chile.
Yay!
Yes. Hi, Josh. Hi, Daniel. Thank you for joining me. My English is not very good, but I have two questions. First, when we can connect to Instagram Live with StreamYard? It's a good question. Many people ask to me the same question. And the second question is, the platform is only in English language. How can I, in the future, change to a Spanish language in this platform? And thank you.
Yeah, maybe you could pick up on that, Daniel, because StreamYard also been doing a Spanish show? Didn't they do a Spanish live stream the other week as well?
Yeah, so we had a Spanish show, and we are going to expand that. That was a pilot program, and we're going to set up a whole infrastructure for Spanish and etc. We are working right now on creating the interface in Spanish. So en unos días, o a lo menos en unas semanas, vas a recibir, vas a usar StreamYard in español. So it's going to be no problem, and it's going to be completely in Spanish. We already have Spanish support. So if you want to just contact support in Spanish, no problem, you can do that. But we'll be completely international within just a few short weeks. So there's a lot of good news there.
Buenas noticias, gracias.
De nada. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad for both.
Okay. Awesome. And maybe one last question from within the studio from Kurt here, and then maybe a couple more from the audience, and we'll wrap up. So let's try to get this moving a little faster here because we're short on time. Hi, Kurt.
Thanks, Josh and Daniel, for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
Great. Cool. I just have two quick questions. One being, is there a way, so when we screen share, my issue is sometimes I want to hide. I don't want my screen to show up right away. But as host, it shows up right away. And I want to prepare, like a YouTube page before it, plays, and not so people can't see things like that. Is it possible for the host to be able to choose when a screen share goes live? Because I know like guests, you can choose when to share their screen, but as a host, I'd like to have that option.
So the short answer to that is no, you can't currently. You can't choose that. But obviously, what you could do is if you start sharing your screen before you've gone live, then you can obviously have it sitting in the backstage area throughout the show. But I understand that might not work if you're changing between sharing windows and stuff. Then that wouldn't work. No, currently, if you're adding your own share screen, it automatically by default adds it to the stream. So there's no way around that other than, as I say, if you do it before you go live, you could then leave the stream backstage, if you know what I mean, without add it when you want to. But currently, that's the only way to do it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll try doing that. I think for the next one. But sometimes people are like, "Oh, can you share this now?" I'm gonna share something with like they send me last minute things. I'm just like, okay, but it's gonna look wonky. But I guess that's live,
I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. And obviously, the other option is not always possible. But obviously, if you get them to share it from their end rather than you doing it, then it won't automatically add it.
Cool.
But yeah. But I know StreamYard are all the time working on changing things and trying to improve things for everyone. So I'm sure it will change in the future.
Cool. And can I ask one quick question? Just one just on uploading videos. I know you only take I guess MP4s. Would it be possible for MOVs to be able to get uploaded at some point? I don't know. That's just something that I get a lot of .mov files from people. Yeah. And then I have to convert them. I was just wondering if that's like a codec issue with StreamYard.
I'm not sure about that. I thought that MOVs are supported. So
I've uploaded .mov straight to StreamYard.
Really?
And not had an issue.
I'm an idiot then, and I just can't get it right.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But also, don't forget, StreamYard do have a limit on the file size and the length of the video. So maybe it's that. I found that a lot of 10-minute videos I've tried uploading are too large still for file. So although they say you can have a 10-minute video, you can only have a maximum file size. So if it's a full HD video, the maximum file size isn't enough for a 10-minute full HD video.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that could be an issue as well. It might just be thinking the file might just be a bit too large. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. I'll do some tests and see what I find, but I'm sure you guys, that makes sense.
Awesome. Cool. Great. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a quick note on sharing screen. So this will be the last guest we have from the studio. So when I'm on other platforms, not on StreamYard, if I'm a guest of somebody else, what I'll do is through the ATM Mini, I will share a second laptop. And then I can do my own overlays or my own, basically a mimic StreamYard. I've actually never put StreamYard inside that laptop and then pushed it to. So sometimes they'll host me, like I'll be talking in an online event or something, and that's in Zoom or whatever. So it would be interesting to actually put StreamYard and the laptop on just the studio, not actually go live, and just bring it right in through the ATM, so I can actually override their settings. That would be funny. So I might try that. I know more people trying to ask questions, and I know Yusuf, you joined in, but sorry, we just don't have any more time for that. So we're gonna join us next week and ask your questions. Then we'll have a bunch of other. Well, actually, not next week. Next week is vacation, so we'll do it that. So we'll do it at that point. And in the comments, we'll follow up. And there's a lot of people in the comments that are giving great advice and answers there. There's a lot of discussions going on. So to do that as well, check out our Facebook group if you're joining in from any other channel here and you're not aware of it. It's the Facebook StreamYard community on Facebook. Join us there. Very, very active community. We've got about 20,000 people, close to 20,000 members in there, and which are very active, really supporting each other, answering questions, etc. And yeah, Josh, this was amazing. Ton of great questions and amazing answers. And this was wonderful to just peek inside and see your world of a pro producer and how you do your things. If anybody wants to learn more about Josh and what he does and take a look at his setup or what he his offerings, if you need a pro producer, if you're setting up a larger event, etc., you can check him out at sbs-events.com, based out of the UK. Josh, any final words before we pick a winner of the StreamYard mug?
No, yeah. All I would say is, like Daniel's mentioned, check out the Facebook community. I'm also very active in there, so you may see me answering questions and stuff. But the StreamYard Facebook community is brilliant. There's so many really, really knowledgeable people in there, most of which Daniel's had on this show, or I'm sure will soon. So I would be very, very surprised if anyone ever asks a question that can't be answered in there. So yeah, do check out the community, and if you've got any questions but weren't answered today, then put them in the community, and someone will be more than happy to help you answer that question.
Yeah, and so if you haven't used the hashtag I love StreamYard before, this is your last chance to do it. Just love StreamYard, and Josh is going to sort of scroll through the comments and see who pick somebody at random or not at random that you want to give a mug to.
Let's do it. There's a few more coming in, but let's have a look. Julio Munoz. Sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. Julio Munoz put a comment on Facebook at 4:31.
Oh, fantastic. Julio Munoz. Okay, fantastic. Yep, there you go. And Julio was with us on I think that was the same Julio that joined us live. So that's awesome. In fact, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so maybe we can even in the future give the prize to one of the people who join us in the studio. That could be kind of nice. Thank you for joining us. So much appreciated, Julio. Tag me or on Facebook. So just tag me. I'll follow up with you, and I'll ship it right out to you. The StreamYard mug, just like this one. Nicely done. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody else that joined us today. This was a lot of fun meeting everybody. See you in a couple of weeks or so. Make sure to, whatever channel you're watching this on, make sure to click on the appropriate button to subscribe so you can get notifications when we go live again. And if you want to join us live in the show, like be my guest on the show, please contact me. I'm specifically looking for more diversity. We've had a bunch of people from the UK mostly. Then it just so happened, and so I'm looking to create a bit more diversity, just for the sake of interest and getting different representations from different industries, different places in the world, whatever background, interesting background you bring to the story, we want to hear it. So let me know, and we will see you next time. Time for an outro, I guess, right?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Let's find that outro. Bye, everyone.